Most of what's sitting in your pantry right now has a quiet expiration date you've never checked. And some of the foods people swear last forever, they don't. There are only 12 foods that are genuinely immune to time. Not 5 years, not 10, indefinitely. And the ones that make the list are going to surprise you because some of the most expensive long-term storage products people buy obsessively are a complete waste of money. I'm going to show you what actually lasts, why it lasts at a chemical level, and 3 tests you can do right now to know if what you already have at home is still good. Let's start with what doesn't make the list, because that part is going to change how you shop. The first food that fails the forever test is something almost every prepper has stacked in their garage: brown rice. People treat brown rice like it's a bunker staple. It is not. Brown rice contains bran and germ layers with natural oils. Those oils go rancid. At room temperature, brown rice lasts 6 months. In a sealed Mylar bag with oxygen absorbers, maybe a year. After that, what you have isn't food, it's cardboard with a texture problem. The version that actually lasts is white rice. The milling process that removes the bran also removes the oils. That's the only reason white rice can sit for 25 years and still cook normally. The second one people get wrong is whole wheat flour. The same principle applies. Whole wheat flour retains the germ, and the germ has oils. Those oils oxidize. You get maybe 6 months before it turns. If you're storing flour for the long term, the answer is white all-purpose flour in a sealed container, not the whole grain version. However nutritionally superior it might be for fresh cooking. The third food that fails is nuts. Nuts are marketed as survival food, high-fat, calorie-dense, shelf-stable, but fat is the enemy of long shelf life. Walnuts go rancid in 3 to 4 months at room temperature. Almonds last longer, up to a year, but they still go off. The oils in nuts interact with oxygen and light and heat, and what you end up with is a compound called aldehydes, which is literally toxic. You can smell it, that sharp, bitter, almost paint-like smell in old nuts. That's not just bad flavor, that's oxidative breakdown at a chemical level. Nuts belong in the freezer if you want them to last years, not the pantry shelf. Before I get to the 12 foods that actually make the list, here are 3 tests you can do right now with things you probably already have at home. Test 1, the honey test. If your honey has crystallized, people often think it's gone bad. It hasn't. Crystallization is a sign of real, unprocessed honey. The glucose in high-quality honey naturally precipitates into crystals over time. Fake honey, the kind diluted with corn syrup or glucose solution, stays liquid much longer because the sugar composition is different. So, counterintuitively, the jar that looks worst might be the one worth keeping. Put it in a bowl of warm water for 20 minutes. If it returns to liquid clarity, it's fine. If it smells fermented, slightly alcoholic, slightly sour, the moisture content was too high when it was bottled. That's the only thing that can actually spoil honey. Test 2, the salt and sugar test. Neither of these expires, but they can be rendered useless if they have absorbed moisture and clumped permanently. Pour a small amount onto a dry surface. If salt clumps but breaks apart easily under pressure, it is fine. It is just absorbed ambient humidity. If it is a solid mass that will not break and smells slightly metallic, it has been contaminated. Sugar that has hardened solid has the same issue. It is safe but functionally useless for some applications. The fix is an AIR-tight container with a silica gel packet, not a new bag. Test 3, the vinegar test. White distilled vinegar lasts indefinitely, but apple cider vinegar and other flavored vinegars can develop a substance called the mother, a floating, cloudy, gelatinous mass. The mother is not mold. It is acetic acid bacteria, the same thing used to make vinegar in the first place. It is harmless, but if you see something that is not floating, something with color, green or black, growing on the surface, that is actual mold, which means the vinegar was diluted or contaminated. Real 5% acidity distilled white vinegar will not mold. Ever. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. This channel goes deep on exactly this kind of thing, and you won't find it anywhere else. And drop a comment below. Which one of these foods do you have the most of at home right now? I want to know what people are actually storing. Now, the 12 foods that genuinely last indefinitely when stored correctly. 1. Raw honey. The science is simple. Low moisture, acidic pH, and hydrogen peroxide production from glucose oxidase. Archaeologists found honey in Egyptian tombs that was still edible after 3,000 years. The only storage rule is to keep it sealed and keep water out. 2. White salt. Salt is a mineral. It does not have a biological expiration mechanism. The best by dates on salt packaging are a legal requirement in most countries, not a scientific assessment. Iodized salt is slightly different. Iodine can degrade over time, which reduces its iodization benefit, but the salt itself is still salt. 3. White granulated sugar. Same principle as salt. Sugar in a dry, sealed environment does not support microbial life. It does not ferment. It does not oxidize. Brown sugar is white sugar with molasses added. That molasses can dry out and harden, but it does not spoil. 4. White rice. As explained, the milling process removes the oils. Store in sealed mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and it will last 25 to 30 years without any meaningful nutritional or textural degradation. 5. White distilled vinegar. The acid concentration makes it a self-preserving liquid. Nothing can grow in it. Flavor is stable. The only variable is container integrity. 6. Pure vanilla extract. The alcohol content, typically 35% or higher, is what preserves it. Same principle as spirits. The flavor actually develops and deepens over years, so old vanilla extract is better than new vanilla extract. 7. Hard distilled spirits above 40% ABV. Whiskey, vodka, rum, gin, unopened, these are indefinite. The alcohol prevents any biological activity. Flavor compounds can change over very long periods, particularly in glass bottles exposed to light, but the liquid does not become unsafe. 8. Baking soda. Sodium bicarbonate doesn't spoil. Its potency for leavening reduces over time. After 2 years, it will produce less rise, but the compound itself is chemically stable indefinitely. For non-baking uses like odor absorption or cleaning, it lasts as long as you need it. 9. Cornstarch. Pure cornstarch, stored dry, lasts indefinitely. No oils, no proteins that can go rancid, no moisture-dependent degradation. The only risk is moisture absorption, which clumps it but doesn't make it unsafe. 10. Ghee. Clarified butter has had the milk solids and water removed, the two components that cause regular butter to spoil. What remains is almost pure butter fat. In a sealed, sterilized jar, ghee can last 1 to 2 years at room temperature and years longer when frozen. 11. Soy sauce. High sodium fermented condiment. The sodium and the fermentation process both inhibit microbial growth. Unopened soy sauce is effectively indefinite. Once opened, flavor degrades, but safety is not the concern. 12. Pure maple syrup. Unopened, maple syrup is shelf-stable indefinitely due to its high sugar concentration and low water activity. Once opened, mold can form on the surface, but unlike with soft foods, you can skim the surface, bring the syrup to a boil, and it is safe again. The real pattern across all 12 is the same. the absence of the three things that cause food to fail, no accessible water, no oxygen reaching the organic compounds, no oils to oxidize. Master those three variables, and you can store food for longer than you'll ever need it.